Hey, good morning, everyone. I wanted to speak to you about the attitude of illness. It is my belief that actually stress, overthinking, overanalyzing, anxiety, depression, all causes and fuels almost every single illness. There's our scale. But what happens also is that when we get chronically ill in some way, for instance, like with chronic fatigue syndrome, our attitude keeps triggering the nervous system and keeps us ill and makes it extremely difficult to heal. And what I mean by that is that this worrying about our health, stressing about doing things, stressing about what people think, stressing about the doctor, worrying about crashing, it all continues to fuel the ill health. And one of the things that I've noticed is a little tweak that we can make to stop triggering that nervous system all the time is, instead of focusing on what we can't do, which I know is many and very frustrating when we have been ill for a long time, is we focus on what we can. And we have this attitude of illness where, one, we become a victim. And I get it, I've been there, I've been the victim, rolling around on the bathroom floor, feeling extremely sorry for myself and pretty hysterical because I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired and not being able to do anything or have a life. But this being a victim is not helping us. And we can flip that. We can say, instead of poor me, my life is so shit, is okay, what is the gifts in this? You know, one of the massive shifts in my mental and then thus physical health was when I read the book Where the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman and realised what I was doing to myself in my thoughts. And suddenly, when I would manage to get to the window of the bedroom and look outside, instead of seeing all these people rushing to work and thinking, I can't work and I can't do this and I can't do that and they get to live and what's wrong with me and stuff, I started noticing that these busy people rushing to work weren't noticing the squirrels in the garden as they passed, the birds and the butterflies and the beautiful flowers, because they had no time. They were busy living, apparently. And what I've come to realise over the years is that what we class as living is far, far from what living really should be. What we class as living is working our asses off for nicer houses and cars and holidays and things, thinking those things make us happy, when what we end up with is being overworked, overstressed, over credit carded usually, and deeply unhappy and not feeling any purpose or pleasure in life unless we are actually on holiday or we're actually getting drunk at the weekends or whatever. So what I've noticed is when we stop and ask ourselves, what is the gift in this? We can look around and see where other people might see weeds and problems. We see herbs and nourishment, flowers, the magic of life that we have been so ingrained in society to think is unimportant. I truly believe if we could all let go of what society tells us makes us happy and healthy, and instead actually listen to ourselves and what makes us happy and healthy, learn to listen to ourselves again, that's a biggie as well. Hug a tree, just go and sit on the grass, whatever it is, then the whole planet would shift. But it's not just that. It's also, we become this victim and we think we're missing out, which actually we're not. And I think that's part of what chronic illness gives you back. It starts to show you that there is a different way of living, that the current way of living, how we as a society live these days, is not sustainable for ourselves, our families, our communities, and the planet. It's not sustainable. We are making ourselves ill. And then we get a chronic illness and we feel even more sorry for ourselves. But actually, this chronic illness is here to show you another way, to show you that the things you've worried and stressed and put importance in are not important. It's not important what we look like. It's not important if we have a bikini body. It's not important if we have a big car, a big house, and another holiday. None of these things are important. Our health and happiness is the important thing. And those things do not make us happy or healthy long term. Far from it. So when we recognise that actually, if we start doing exactly the opposite of what society tells us we need to do to be happy and healthy, we actually become happy and healthy. We need for a lot less. And what we do need for is very simple: food, water, a roof over our heads, some warmth, animals maybe. But also, when we are chronically ill, and this is actually what I started the video about, but I've gone off on a little victim mentality tangent. But also what is really important is we get out of this habit, this way of thinking of, I can't do that. There may be a huge list of things at the moment that you can't do. But there'll be loads of things you can, even if it's tiny. So if someone says, come out for a coffee, and you find yourself saying, I can't do that, rather than keep reinforcing that way of thinking and triggering your nervous system as well, because you go into victim mode, is to go, okay, what can I do? Okay, I can't come out for a coffee, but maybe you could bring some coffee around to me. I can probably manage to sit up on the sofa or in bed or something like that. Let's make it something nice and cozy. What can you do? Rather than focusing on what is wrong, focus on what is right. Rather than focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do. Rather than focusing on being a victim, see what the gifts are in this. Life gives us challenges to make a change. Every single challenge that I've been through in my life, whether that was abuse as a child, seriously bad relationship choices along the way, health, seriously bad health issues along the way, whatever it was, every single thing, I can see that it was there to help me make a change. It was there to show me, my family, the people around me, that this isn't the way to live. This isn't sustainable. This isn't good for us as human beings. There is so much more to living than paying off mortgages and massive cars and holidays. That might there may be some security that you feel in there, but I tell you what, we are never secure in life. Anything could happen tomorrow that takes it all away. If we start focusing on health and thus happiness as well, instead of we need more, we have to have more, this will make us happy, this will make us secure, this will make us whatever it is. If we stop focusing on all this external stuff and start focusing on health and happiness instead, then big shifts can happen. And particularly in your own environment, in your life, in your body even. So instead of having this attitude of illness, why not have an attitude of health and happiness instead? And that's all from me for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao.